come out this morning, check on the chicks. Just topped up their feed. It's amazing to see how some really big ones, like this one here, and some really small ones. Same feed, same water, same conditions, just different chickens. Next off to feed the other animals. Next we've got some grains, some more milk and old cream for the pigs. I'll come down here, turn the fence off so we don't get zapped, and jump inside. There's still hail from last night.
What happened, Dad?
I could hear.
What happened?
Look, there's still hail here, Joe. Israel!
Is it cold?
That's how cold it was last night. I could hear the tank coming out the overflow, which means
Oh, Dad.
it's nice and full. Don't know if you can see that. But yeah, she's full to the brim, so we'll pump it back up to the top tank up the top, get that one nice and full, then we should be all good for summer.
I want that.
So just need to turn this tap off so it's not pushing pressure back into the house. We can come over here and switch the pump on.
Yeah, cold, Dad. Yeah, cold, Dad. Yeah, cold, Dad.
Can't hear it running. Just double
Cold.
check.
Daddy, cold.
Yeah, it is cold, Zara.
Mm-hmm. Mommy.
For some reason I can't hear the pump running. The bucket hasn't been mixed properly.
Why are you crying?
No eggs in here.
Yep.
They already laid. They haven't laid. Look, dry.
It's kind of white.
Egg.
It's kind of white.
Yeah.
just a quick update for you guys. Today I didn't vlog much today because my parents were down. Mum helped me in the garden. I don't know if you remember from previous vlogs how overgrown this area was. She helped me pull out a lot of the plants. So it's much more clear now. That's the wheelbarrow load full and all this too. So in here I want to plant some edibles, my citrus, a bit more of my citrus, because it's a bit more sheltered and warm from the water tanks. And something that, you know, we can still get light through our windows here in the lounge room and have a pretty outlook too. So I'll have things in here that are all year round, annuals, and that are useful because we only plant things here that we have a use for, not just pretty things. Things that attract bees, herbs, medicine, and food. So yeah, we're just pulling out all the unnecessary plants that don't really have a use for us and our family, especially in our zone 1, so close to the house. We also got a tank full of water last night with the rain. As I was finishing vlogging, it started to pour, and once it started, it was like immediate, big drops, really heavy. And so our water tank was filled up. It was very empty. It was just about all the way down to the bottom. And it overflowed last night, which is amazing. I really wanted this full before summer, and it is. So I'm really happy that we can continually just keep it topped up now with the rains that we get over summer until next winter. But we had an issue with the pump. It's our pump down there. It pumps all our water up to the top tank, and that gravity feeds the house so that the pump doesn't have to turn on every time that we turn a tap on. But we had a bit of an issue with that, and my dad's very handy and helped Paul tinker with that and fix it up. So that was really awesome. We didn't really want to have to buy a new pump, especially one that is as capable as that one. That one has to pump about 50 meters above sea level, so it's quite a distance, not a distance but like a height as well, so it's quite a strain on the pump. You need quite a good pump. Didn't really want to have to outlay that at the moment with everything else that we've had to outlay on. I'll show you the fruit trees that we planted last night. I think my battery died just before it started to pour. But we got some fruit trees in. We got the two citrus trees in. I've got a ruby grapefruit here, and I think that's a tangelo. So they were looking a bit sad in the pots. They were reduced to clear plants, and they always had yellow leaves. That's because they weren't fed, but we wanted to get them in the ground and try and get their roots going and hopefully save them. I do have one more. I can't remember what that was. I think that's the Valencia orange or a navel orange. But we just filled the holes up with cow poop like we've been doing everywhere. Try and get some worm life and some nutrition into the soil, and then we're going to heavily mulch. Now we're kind of using a permaculture principle here, and instead of having big swales cut into the land, we've kind of made a little bit of a mound, so when it rains it can catch it here. It doesn't just run off, so there's a little bit of a lip. Usually you would cut contours into the land or swales, but you know, we can't do that here because it's quite a small area, but hoping that this kind of acts in the same way. Might even be able to put rocks around it just to give it some reinforcement. And then in between here, in between the 3 trees up here, so we've got 1, 2, and we'll put another one there. We're going to put 2 mandarins, and that will kind of be a bit of a citrus grove. And then we'll add some more to where I showed you where the tanks were, because that holds the heat. So things that require a bit more warmth and a bit more shelter, so maybe my papayas, because I've got a few seeds of those. They'll do really well here because it's sheltered from the wind. You've also got the thermal mass from the water tanks. But I'll just say, I think lower plants will do better here because we'll still get the outlook and the sun. So the sun sets behind me, so would get the afternoon light in through these windows. So if we can keep that open, that'd be awesome, especially in winter. In summer, you know, it doesn't really matter, but in winter would be great to get just a little bit more light. yeah, so that was basically all we did today. We just potted in the garden and hung out, and the boys kind of tinkered with the pumps, and Paul tried to fix up the fence for the pigs because it was shorting out because it's, yeah, you know, poultry netting and it's on a hill, so it just keeps shorting out, earthing out, sorry. But they've done such a great job. Look how much they've tilled that up. That's just about ready to have some manure spread on it, some cow manure spread on it, some cardboard and some mulch, ready for spring next month. So we'll move them over a bit. I want to move them to this section here. I get another area dug up, and then when they've done that, I'll have another area on the other side. This is my gate here from my front door. It's all messy at the moment, but we'll have like some stairs coming down here and veggie patch on both sides. So after we've got the extra bit over here dug up by the pigs, we'll move them and they can dig up over here. And that way I can put things in there that you don't need to go and harvest every day. Things like pumpkins and corn, you know, one-off harvests. I know it's still very accessible and easy to get to from their house, but the great thing is that we are on this hill and you can't see this from inside the house. So, you know, veggie patches get overgrown, they get scraggly, but you won't be able to see that until you come out here and look down. So you won't see the big corn and the pumpkin vines and rock melons and all that sort of stuff, melon vines. You won't see them getting all scraggly. Yeah, so it'll be really good. And I can even put my broccoli and collies and cabbages down here because they're, again, a one-off harvest. And things like tomatoes I'll pop over in the garden bed over here that I'll walk through to go to the chickens. So getting really excited planning out my garden. This is, you know, what we've always wanted, to be fully self-sufficient and growing all around food. So we've got the space, I've got the time, and it's really nice to just put the systems in place so that we're able to plant everything that we want and need to in the coming months. Yeah, really exciting. So now the next thing I want to do is look for a boar for the pigs, a mini boar. That way we can start harvesting some pork. These guys are pets, so they're not going to be ever eaten. That was the arrangement when we took them into our farm, but we can breed them, and yeah, their babies will be our food, and we'll also sell some of them, and that way that can offset some of their costs, because pigs are expensive to feed. They eat a lot, and we only feed them the highest quality food that we can afford. And you know, if we can sell a couple of their babies and that'll pay for some of their grain, well, that's awesome. You know, that's just how farms work. You got to make money to be self-sustainable. We need to sell some babies, whether it's cows, sheep, pigs, chickens. It's, you know, it's just part of the game. That way we can, you know, outlay the money to feed them. But yeah, it's going really good. Really enjoying it. We had such a lovely day today. It was nice and warm. It wasn't windy. It's starting to pick up a little bit of a breeze now, but it's nothing like it has been. It was a beautiful clear day, as you can see. So really, really nice day on the farm. Hopefully we get some better weather this week, but I think it is going to rain. But rain's good. Rain is what we need. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow.